Hello everyone, welcome to my video assignment. On this video, I'll be analyzing a case study titled Magic Murray's Viral Videos. Murray Suchok is a magician that has spent years building his image and reputation. Suchok's passion is to entertain people, and he thought YouTube would help him, build his brand in a way that he had not thought of before, as well as being a source of added exposure. So answering question one, Suchok is into the entertainment business with humor and surprise as his key element. Suchok is also a brand, because as against, developing a product that he sells himself. So he doesn't have a product. Suchok is not he doesn't sell a product, but he sells a brand, which is himself, right? And his brand is a prankster brand. So Suchok is the prankster, and that is the brand he sells. Suchok partnered with Seth Leach, to help him do viral videos. And one of the things that Seth Leach did was to use YouTube's evaluation tool to access his audience, find out who his customers really are. And one of the things that we found out from the case study is that Suchok's audience is essentially from Texas. 94% of his audience are male from Texas, and then they're between the ages of 19 and 24. So this shows that Suchok really has a young audience that is interested in pranksters and the kind of things that Suchok does. So his audience essentially are from Texas. I really wonder why he has his audience from Texas, considering that he does most of his shows in Las Vegas. But that is what the analysis or analytics have shown, that his audience are essentially male from Texas between the ages of 19 and 24. Now you wonder and say, who are Suchok's competitors? So to start with, Suchok's competitors are other magicians, right? Every other person that does the same type of business that Suchok does. But that is not all, because you also have other YouTubers that does other things, that creates other kinds of videos and posts online. So all those are also competitors to Suchok, because apart from magicians, he also has other people that does other things and post on YouTube that takes the attention of his audience. So those would also be competitors. But you also look at maybe some other social networks, maybe some other TV programs, for example, would also be part of Suchok's competitors. So he needs to consider, one, fellow magicians. He needs to consider other content creators on YouTube, and then offline TV, radio, magazines, content creators in some of those other offline materials would also be competitors to Suchok. Suchok's core business objective is to ensure that it sells more tickets. Suchok's core strategy is live magic. He headlines a show in Las Vegas called Dennis the Menace of Magic. And one of his main objectives is to ensure that it sells more tickets and gets more people to attend the show. And that is the core strategy or core business objective of Suchok, to ensure that more people come to shows, to ensure that more people buy tickets, to ensure that more people see him perform live magic. So whatever it is he's doing with video marketing is to ensure that he can drive traffic from every other part of the country and even in the world indeed to come and watch him do his magic live. And that is what his core objective is. His core objective is to ensure that more people attend the shows, more people buys tickets and more people watch him do his magic live. The first force that I'm going to be talking about is the supplier power. Now, the more suppliers you have within an industry, the more power you have as a business owner, because you can easily switch from one supplier to another if the terms or the price or the cost of one supplier is not favorable to you. Now, if a supplier is charging you too expensive to produce your content or your product, if you have a lot of suppliers, you can move so that the cost of your product or your content is not too high for your customers. Now, in the case of Sawchalk, the suppliers are enormous, right? So the supplier power is actually really low, because you have quite a number of people that can do videos for you. You have quite a number of people that can make viral videos, which is something that Sawchalk is working on, or which is one of the core business of Sawchalk, to make videos and post them online. So for the supplier power, I believe that the supplier power is low. Sawchalk can easily move from one supplier to another, so the suppliers do not have so much power over the business of Sawchalk. The second force I'll be looking at will be the buyer power. Now, for Sawchalk's business as a magician, his buyers are his audience, right? And then you have quite a number of audiences that go to watch magic or watch Sawchalk's magic, either in Las Vegas or even on YouTube, right? So his buyer power is really low if you look at the audience or the consumers. However, Sawchalk's strategy is to make viral videos through YouTube. So as it stands, YouTube is the only buyer of Sawchalk's content, right? The audience are viewers, and like we know, the subscribers to YouTube, the number of subscribers you have do not have any monetary impact on your business. So even if you have 1 million subscribers, YouTube will not give you any money. You will not make any earnings from that. However, if people view your content or your videos, then YouTube will pay you. However, YouTube is your only buyer, because YouTube is the only provider that pays for your content. Now, I believe that buyer power is really high because YouTube determines what it pays to you. So at the moment, YouTube pays $1 for 1,000 views, and that's so little, in my opinion, right? So, but because you do not have, a lot of buyers, you need to stick to YouTube, and YouTube will pay you whatever it is they think is fair, or they think that they can afford. So in this case, for Sawchalk's business, providing viral videos, I believe that the buyer power is really high. YouTube has a high buying power over this business. The next force I'll be discussing about is competitors or competitive rivalry. How easy is it for competitors? How many competitors do you have in that space? As a magician or in the entertainment industry, the competition is really, really high, and the rivalry is tough, is steep, right? So for Sawchalk's business, you have a number and tons of magicians. You have tons and tons of entertainers trying to get people's attention. So in that business, the competitive rivalry is high. Quite a number of people are in the space trying to get people's attention. So for Sawchalk, he needs to go the extra. He needs to do above and beyond, or needs to look for that sweet spot where quite a number of competitors are not in, where he can take ownership or maybe carve a niche, right? So humor and surprise, which is the key element of Sawchalk's business, might be good. Going into YouTube to do viral videos so that he can drive traffic back to his live performances can be good, right? But he also needs to do more to stay above the competition. The next force I'm going to be talking about is the threat of substitution. All right, the threat of substitute. In this business, for the audiences, or for YouTube as the buyer, for the audiences as the consumer of the content, the substitutes are enormous, right? If I don't want to watch a magician video, I could watch, a music video, or I could watch a movie, or I could watch the video of a, funny cat sleeping. So the substitutes are enormous, which is a problem for Sawchuk in his business, because people can switch from his videos to something else, right? Which is a problem, which would also affect his profitability. It would affect the number of views it will get on his videos. The final force I'm going to talk about is threat of new entrants. It's so very easy. This video I'm doing will go on to YouTube, right? So it's so easy to have tons and tons of new and different types of videos on YouTube, which is new entrants into that space. However, for the magician space, the threat of new entrants is pretty high as well, because every now and again, every day, new magicians come on board, new magicians try to do something different. So considering the Potter's 5 forces and how it would affect the profitability of Sawchuk's business, I believe that Sawchuk's business profitability will be hampered. The industry is one that content producers or magicians or entertainers would have a challenge, because they have just one major buyer, or the buyers are few. Substitutes can the various substitutes. You can have new entrants. The competition is steep in the industry. So essentially, Sawchuk's what he expects to achieve video marketing is to get more exposure, is to become more popular. According to the case study, after I did the first video, and a week after, almost everybody he met recognized him from the video, right? So what he intends to achieve with the video is exposure, is to become more popular, and then he also expects that viewers would also come and watch his live performance. So one of the things he wants to achieve with the video is exposure, to be more popular, and then 2, to be able to sell his tickets through video marketing. I believe video marketing is the way to go. I believe video marketing is the future. So I would recommend that Sawchuk continues to do video marketing. However, much more than just getting exposure, I would recommend that Sawchuk takes advantage of the revenue model of YouTube, and the opportunities in video marketing to make money, right? So as against just having exposure, as against just becoming more popular, or even selling his live tickets, I believe that Sawchuk should also consider opportunities in making money, or using video marketing as a revenue stream, right? So considering the revenue model of YouTube, where they pay for viewers, where you also pay, you get paid for the ads and sponsorship, right? So I would also recommend strongly that Sawchuk goes to look for sponsors. This is a huge revenue model, or a revenue opportunity for him, where he can actually get sponsors and do videos skewed towards promoting his sponsors and making huge revenue from it. Now that way, considering Potter's 5 forces again, the buyer's market, which is the sponsors now in this case, is large, right? So he can switch from one sponsor to another, and call the shots and make more money. So I would recommend that he considers the revenue opportunities in video marketing, and essentially sponsorship, to get as many sponsors as possible, which will be huge revenue for him.